Welcome back to Module 1 of the Real Estate Team Builder program, The Big Picture. This is Lesson 7, all about understanding your company policies and any state requirements when it comes to building a team. So know your company policies. Does your company support team building? Well, how are you going to find that out? I'm going to recommend you sit down with your broker or manager first and have a conversation, and I'm going to give you a few things that you can talk about so you can have some clarity around what are the rules of the game in building a team inside of your company. Plus, you also have to understand what the state requirements might be. So, a couple things. Number one, what is your company's policy for in-house recruiting? Or do they have any other team policies? Meaning, can you recruit people within the company to your team? And if so, what are any rules that go with that? Do they still have to be on the split that they're with the company? So you're just going to have to talk it out with your broker or manager. One of the benefits that team brokers like about teams is that generally, if you're building a team, you're going to be helping them recruit because you're going to generally be bringing people in from outside the company to join your team. So they may be very much all about help and support you with this, but you just need to get all the details worked out. Another area of consideration is branding. Can you co-brand your team, your name, with the company? Always, every state has that requirement that the brokerage always has to be clearly visible and designated on any marketing materials, signs, etc., and used. So what are the rules with your company or your franchise regarding co-branding with the company? Because remember, there's almost 3 levels of branding that are going to go on with a team. There's the company, always has to be there, the company name, the brokerage. Then there's you, which also should have a brand with it, the, whatever team or group. And then there's the agent that is a member of your team, and you are a member, and all of you are a member of that company. All right, let's discuss some of the potential state regulatory issues that you need to consider. The first one is about what can you name your team. The state of Nevada, as an example, has a very specific statute that says it can either be a team or a group, and it has to have at least a surname of at least one person if there's a partnership. So, for example, I can be the Jan O'Brien team, I can be the Jan O'Brien group, I can be the O'Brien group. If I had a partner, it could be the O'Brien Emerson group or the O'Brien Emerson team. That's very specific, and I'm going to probably encourage you that you may want to consider using just the word team or group, because I find that a lot of states, if they don't already have a regulation in place, are moving towards it because there are so many teams. And the big deal here about this, why can't you be the best, real estate team, is because it confuses the public. That's generally what the various bureau or real estate divisions are going to tell you, that the public has to be really clear. Are you the broker? Are you a company? Are you an agent or a team within that company? So find that out, check with your broker or manager, or just actually talk to the folks that manage your real estate division or bureau of real estate. Are there any disclosure requirements that your state or your broker is going to require of you? The best one, and the one that I really recommend that you do anyway, is if you have a team that you have some type of an agency disclosure to your buyers and sellers, I recommend highly that you, and you may be required to, per your state, have an addendum to the duties owed, as they call it in Nevada, or the agency disclosure elsewhere, that literally lists these are all the people that are on the O'Brien team, and you may or may not come in contact with them, but you're being safe and you're disclosing to your clients that you and all these other folks work with you. So a team addendum might be a requirement for your agency disclosure. Are there any specific advertising guidelines beyond what I just talked about regarding the name of your team that are required by either your broker, your company, or the actual state real estate board? Now, there are definitely win-win-win-win opportunities, in our opinion, on team building, okay? For the team leader, we have been talking about it throughout this whole module. Increase revenue, profitability, leveraging your time and resources, increasing your market share. Those are all the benefits to you. For the team members that you bring on and join your team, you're helping them with the things they want, which is stability, more success, increased production and commissions that they didn't have otherwise. Your clients, when it's done right, they get enhanced service and an experience, a better overall experience, because you have a lot of folks helping out. The company wins, because if you're profitable and you're helping other agents that might have joined the company or you brought in, and you're bringing more to their bottom line, more units closed, more market share. You're helping develop stronger, more professional individual agents that eventually are going to leave your team and maybe stay with the company. So, and as I mentioned, you are going to help the broker attract and recruit other agents that then just makes your company stronger. So there's definitely opportunities all around. Now, here are some of the challenges when you're talking with your broker that they may see as the challenges in supporting teams. One, of course, is the recruiting from within the company. You just need to talk to them about that. Sometimes in larger companies where there are a lot of teams, there's the in-house battling and recruiting from one team to the next, and that's something that's going to concern a broker, and they're going to have some rules for that. The other big category is awards and recognition. How does your company handle awards? Do they have awards for individuals and teams? If they don't have a lot of teams, they may not have that yet. But individuals in the company are going to be concerned that obviously you're going to win if you have 10 people and they only have one. So you start to have some of these challenges that companies, don't really like to handle, and they may end up having policies on this. There are challenges with disputes and terminations and so forth with teams. This is why it's so critical, and that we recommend and are giving you examples of what clauses need to be in the addendums to the contracts for the people on your team. Remember, when somebody's on your team, they're first and foremost an agent with that broker. So there's always going to be an independent contractor agreement that the people on your team must execute with your broker. Then you're going to, with your company's approval, have an addendum that spells out your relationship with that team agent, how you're splitting commissions, what your expectations are, what happens when they leave your team, etc. And then a broker may feel that there's additional liability and risk with teams, especially if they're loose formed and people don't have the things that we're covering in this training, this program, about structure and systems and agreements, etc., things in writing. A couple other things and definitions, and again, we're just trying to arm you with things to sit down and talk to your broker about, so that you can get clear about what the rules are before you start doing things, and then you weren't even aware that maybe there were some requirements from the state, and the way you spend all this money marketing and only to realize that you can't call yourself that name, as an example. So most companies are going to define a team as a team is comprised of 2 or more company associated licenses who choose to regularly work together under a written agreement. That's usually a team definition. Recruiting within the brokerage, I've mentioned this numerous times. Obviously, this can be a big challenge. Written agreements, that's going to be generally required. And if you're going to start doing, use the stuff we have, make sure, please, that you run everything by your broker and get it approved first before you start using it. Production awards, we mentioned that. One thing on that is understanding, how does your broker handle awards, and then are they going to let you count the production from your team members towards your overall production? And some companies that belong to franchises that then have franchise awards, and so these are important things, if they're important to you, that you definitely want to get the answers to. And then, of course, I've mentioned branding and your team names. Know all that first before you jump in and start creating new marketing pieces and signs and business cards, etc. Commission disbursement. Now, you're sharing commissions with agents when you have a team. So we highly, highly recommend, if your company doesn't already have it, you create some type of a commission disbursement agreement. Again, have your broker check off on this. And it's a form that basically says, hey, Mr. Broker, this is, in this transaction, I'm the team leader, I'm getting this much, the buyer's agent is getting this much, Johnny's getting this much, and then my transaction coordinator gets this $200, and you're literally telling them how to split up the commission that comes in. And the last thing to consider is if your company uses a cap model, meaning you pay them so much each year as a cap on splits and fees and so forth. If you have a cap model in place in your company, then you definitely have to understand how the team model works in that cap model, meaning the people that are on your team, do they have to also hit a cap, or do they have a different level of a cap? So just, again, get educated on all the rules, all the policies in your company, and obviously within your state for the regulations before you jump into team building all the way. That's it for Lesson 7. Your only homework is to meet with your broker or manager so you can get clear about any existing policies and any regulations that you need to know about regarding team building. Join us in the final lesson of Module 1, where we're going to bring it all together with your roadmap and go down all the items on the checklist for Module 1 to help you take action and start building that real estate team.